welcome to The Book of Life, a show about Jewish books, music, film, and web. I'm Heidi Estrin. The Book of Life is a podcast service of the Feldman Library at Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton, Florida. Additional support comes from the Association of Jewish Libraries. At the American Library Association Conference, a book about Jews in baseball caught my eye at the McFarland booth in the exhibit hall. Exhibitor Karl-Heinz Roseman was happy to do an interview, and he very kindly let me come back the next day to finish our interview after the batteries in my recorder ran out the first day. It turns out that McFarland, despite the Goyish name, is a strong publisher of Jewish books. Who knew? I'm sitting with Karl-Heinz Roseman of McFarland Publishing here at the American Library Association annual meeting. And Karl's going to tell us about some Jewish titles that is mainly a nonfiction publisher of mostly academic
That's correct.
works.
McFarland is a nonfiction publisher, primarily academic nonfiction. However, we also have general interest books. One of our areas that we're fairly strong in is sports, particularly baseball. And even though baseball can be viewed as a popular topic, all the books are treated seriously. McFarland has a reputation as the type of publisher who can even treat a popular topic in a serious manner.
Yes, I saw you had several books about zombies on display.
And I'm sure that several professors have adopted those and are using them in college classrooms. So one thing that caught your eye as you passed our booth was our book about Jews in baseball, the early years up through Hank Greenberg. And that's only one of several books that we have about Jews in baseball. There's a book, Jews in Baseball, the post-Greenberg years. And these are similar to biographical dictionaries. They're large, authoritative reference works. And very recently we published a book called Jewish Major Leaguers in Their Own Words, which is an interview book, a little bit more personal touch. Our interest, I guess, in those books may have been to offer scholarship about sports, but it seems like we've developed a small line about Jews in baseball. The authors of those books, I believe, approached McFarland both about our reputation in sports, but also in Jewish studies and Judaica. And the number of those books would be of interdisciplinary, not just sports, but might have books about society or literature, military history, even ancient history, women's studies, so a wide variety of topics in the humanities.
So you have titles in women's studies and ancient history and so on that have a Jewish angle?
Yes, that's correct. I'd like to, if possible, I'm going to try to pull up a brief list of books on our online catalog, Heidi.
Okay, and go ahead and tell us the URL of that.
Well, our website is www.mcfarlandpub.com. And this is just the first page that I'm browsing through. Jewish Genetic Disorders, author Abel. Caledonian Jews by author Abrams. My Darkest Years, that's a memoir. Survival Artists, another memoir. Here's one, Ancient History, The Jewish Revolts Against Rome, AD 66 through 135. There's Jewish Story Finder by a librarian.
Who's the author of that? Sharon Ellsworth. Oh, she's one of us. Yes,
yes,
she's a member of the Association of Jewish Libraries.
Yes. So Sharon's book is called The Jewish Story Finder, a guide to 363 tales, and also listing subjects and sources.
If I recall correctly, she won an AJL award for that book, although I can't remember specifically when that happened or off the top of my head.
I have a review quote from
good.
the AJL newsletter, and they say, a thoughtful, beautifully executed piece of work and a welcome addition to the field of Jewish children's.
Okay, after my battery death snafu that cut us off in the middle of such an interesting conversation, I'm here again with Karl-Heinz Roseman from McFarland to talk a little bit more about their titles. As I walked by your booth, I was intrigued to see a whole row of books about librarianship in general, library skills and so on. So tell us some more about that, because so many of our listeners are librarians.
It's a fairly diverse group of books. Some of them are academic. Some of them are best practices for putting together a bulletin board. They run a wide range. Some of the more popular titles of late, we have a book called Generation X Librarianship, library services to gay, lesbian, bi, transsexual communities, and also radical cataloging.
Radical cataloging.
Radical
Wow.
cataloging. So some of the books might be essays and fun reading or for personal development or professional development. Then others might be a tool, a handbook for how to do something in your library. We're very interested in helping libraries and librarians, helping libraries and librarians thrive. Our founder, Robert Franklin, was a son of librarians, public librarians. He went to library school himself at Columbia, but ended up as a publisher rather than a librarian. And when he founded the company in 1979, he did it with librarians in mind.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's very heartwarming. Why is it called McFarland if his name was Franklin?
Well, his middle name is McFarland.
Ah.
His mother's maiden name is McFarland. So Franklin is very British, I believe. McFarland is a little Scottish, and if you were wandering the aisles of ALA, you would see in the McFarland booth, you might catch a glimpse of the McFarland clan tartan. So that's his mother's heritage, some Scotch-Irish, the southeast of the U.S. I think his mother's family is from Tennessee, and his father was from the Midwest.
Wow, that's lovely. As in the Jewish culture, we judge people by whether they're good to their mother. So that's very nice. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, or between today and yesterday we might have it covered?
I would like to say that McFarland welcomes inquiries from librarians, be it just about our company or about our books. We have many authors that are librarians, and we are always interested in working with new authors. So if there is an AJL member that has an idea about a book proposal, we would like for them to keep McFarland in mind. One easy way to contact us is just to go to our website, McFarlandPub.com. There are resources on our website about contacting the marketing or sales department or contacting an editorial type. So that should be a good way to inquire with the company.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Heidi. I really appreciate it.
There are so many ways to connect with the Book of Life. Fan us at facebook.com/Book of Life Podcast. Follow us at twitter.com/Book of Life Pod. Email us at bookoflifepodcast@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail at 561-206-2473. You can also listen to the latest episode by phone at 916-313-3820. And, of course, find links to everything at bookoflifepodcast.com. The Book of Life is a podcast service of the Feldman Library at Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton, Florida at cbiboca.org and is supported in part by the Association of Jewish Libraries at jewishlibraries.org. Our background music is provided by the Freilach Makers Klezmer String Band at freilachmakers.com. Thanks for listening, and happy reading.